And welcome back, movie maniacs. Roofman movie review. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the strangest true crime movies of the year, Roofman. This is a film starring Channing Tatum, Kristen Dunst, and it tells a story so unbelievable you'd think someone made it up as a joke. But not only is it real, it's wild, emotional, funny, and dramatic all at once. So let's break down what happens, what works, what doesn't work, and how the audience is responding, and whether Roofman is worth adding to your watch list. Let's lock in the setup. You know we gotta set it up on this channel, so let's start with the basics. Roofman follows the story of Jeffrey Manchester, a former Army veteran struggling with money, loneliness, and a sense of purpose. One day, he discovers very accidentally that he can get into fast food restaurants by going through the roof because he observed it. He can pick things out because he's been in the military, so he's a little sharper than your average person. And having a lack of money to provide for his family got him thinking, hey, I probably can pull this off. No alarms, no witnesses, no customers, no employees, just him, a flashlight, and a weirdly creative idea. Soon, Jeff, he becomes obsessed with this method. He studies layouts. He times employee routines. He slides through air ducts like he's in Mission Impossible. Except instead of stealing diamonds, he's grabbing cash from McDonald's. That's right, Mickey D's. Eventually, he gets caught. But let's keep in mind, he did hit like 40-something McDonald's, a Burger King, a KFC, a Blockbuster, and I think that's about it. But he was on a great run before he gets caught and sent to prison. But that's just the beginning. He escapes. Yes, he does. He escapes prison, reinventing himself while hiding inside a giant toy store where he secretly lived for months. And you already know, the biggest toy store in the world, Toys R Us. He even starts dating a single mom who works at Toys R Us, who has no idea he's a fugitive. The movie blends crime, romance, and character drama in a way that feels both entertaining and surprisingly emotional. Performances and characters. One of the strongest elements of this movie is the cast. Channing Tatum gives one of his best performances in a long time. This isn't a tough guy role. It's not an action hero role. He plays Manchester with a mix of awkward charm, desperation, curiosity, and loneliness. You actually understand why people might trust this guy, even though you, the viewer, know he lying to everybody. He lying, y'all. Kristen Dunst, who plays Lee, brings a lot of heart. She's not playing a stereotype or a simple love interest. She's a real complicated person, a mom trying to rebuild her life, open up again, and trust someone. Their chemistry feels natural, tender, and messy in a way that adds weight to the story. The supporting cast also does a great job grounding the film emotionally, especially Lakeith. You know he always bring that heat, and in scenes that deal with the consequences of Manchester's choices. What works? A story that's too wild not to watch. This is a movie that already has a built-in hook. A man robbing restaurants through the roof, living secretly in a toy store, trying to date someone while hiding in plain sight. It's crazy, but the movie leans into that without making it goofy. The movie walks a tightrope between being dramatic, funny, sad, and a little absurd. And surprisingly, it works. It never goes full slapstick, but it never goes full dark thriller either. It finds a middle lane, a human lane that you can relate to. Emotional weight. What elevates the movie is the emotional core. At the heart of everything is a lonely guy trying to create a life for himself, but doing it the completely wrong way. You feel the tension between who he wants to be and what he's actually doing. The visual style has a charm, reflective tone, long takes, natural lighting, character-focused shots. It really gives the actors space to breathe. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels over-edited. Even though this is a crime movie, it's not really about the robberies. It's about the man behind them, his regrets, his fantasies, his need for love, and the lies he tells to get it. What doesn't work? Some parts of the movie feel tight and gripping. Other parts slow way down. And I mean like way down. It's like the film can't always decide whether it want to be a crime story or a romantic character study. Most of the time the balance works, but there are moments where the shift feels a little jarring, like it's a whole different movie. Like at some point you're like, what is it? Like, dude, you on a run. It ain't time to be booed up and laid up. You can't do this. You trying to go back to jail. You trying to get locked up. Even though he switches between, okay, I'm on the run, I need to get out of here. But then he's like, oh, I met this baddie at Toys R Us. I'm trying to lock in with her right quick. Let me take her out. And those two don't really mix. We get hints about why he does what he does. Emotional struggles, money problems, self-esteem issues. But the film never goes all the way in exploring the psychology. A deeper dive into his mind could have made this a more complex film. Even though the real story is crazy, a couple of scenes feel just a little too convenient. I mean, it's based on a true story. This really happened. But honestly, if you go in knowing this story is wild from the start, it's easier to roll with. That's why I appreciated some moments because, well, I was like, well, how did he do this? And why did he do this? And then it started to make sense when you see the film. This film is great in explaining why he went in certain directions that he did, because hearing the story, the real story, you had no context behind it. But in this, you absolutely do. And they break down and why and how he got to certain parts committing these crimes. Box office and audience reaction. The movie was made on a relatively modest budget of around 18 million, and it pulled in roughly 30 to 32 million worldwide, which make it mid. That's a mid success. It's not a blockbuster, but a respectable performance, especially for a true crime drama with no superheroes, no big explosions, and no franchise attached. Audience response has been positive overall. Most people praise the performance and the uniqueness of the story. Some say the pacing could have been a little tighter. In my opinion, a little shorter. It was kind of long. It could have been shorter. But almost everyone agrees. It's a story they never seen on the screen before. My final thoughts. Overall, Roofman is a one-of-a-kind movie. It's strange, emotional, unexpectedly funny in some spots, and grounded by two strong lead performances. It doesn't always hit every mark, but when it hits, it hit hard. If you enjoy character-driven true crime films, offbeat stories, or movies that blend humor with heart, this one is definitely worth watching. I'm giving Roofman a 2.5 out of 5. I gave it that extra 0.5 because this was a true story. It really happened. And even though they turned it into the movie and I know some stuff was left out, but just to see this guy living in the Toys R Us night by night and not being able to control himself and risk everything by going out because he saw a baddie at Toys R Us. He was like changing her schedule so she didn't have to work. He was doing some stuff, eating all the M&Ms at Toys R Us. Skateboarding through Toys R Us, having the ball, getting toys, even built him a little room inside Toys R Us behind the bike rack. It was interesting to see, and that's what kept me engaged. And I really enjoyed that part. But the part where he comes out and he can't just sit in that little dark corner no more, he just got to get out and got to interact with people. That's when the story kind of starts to drag, and it's too long. I wish they would have tightened it up, cut some scenes out and made it shorter. It got an R rating. Maybe if it got a PG-13 rating, the numbers would have been better, in my opinion. If it was PG-13, I think a lot of kids would have went to go see this, because this is McDonald's and Toys R Us. Like, all you had to do was cut out some profanity and cut out the scenes where, you know, there is some mild sex scenes in this movie and some nakedness. But if they just cut those 2-3 things out, I think the numbers would have did way better, because the kids would have been able to see it and enjoy it. But to be honest, the kids of today, they know McDonald's, but they don't really remember Toys R Us. Like, what is that to a kid today? But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they have somewhat of an idea but it was creative in how they played out everything to show you exactly what he went through, how he was able to get money, how he was able to survive, and the steps he took to get to be on a run for so long. He was on a run for almost a year. A flawed but genuinely compelling film that sticks with you after it ends. Should you go to the theaters to see it? I know it's probably then ran its course. It should be coming to streaming soon, but definitely watch it on streaming. Definitely give it at least a one watch, and I think you will enjoy it, because I did personally, and I was locked in because I'm like, what is he about to do next? It keeps you hooked in that aspect, but it does slow down, and then it gets to a point where you're like, what are you doing, man? You can't just be outside. But he doesn't care, because that's just how he gets down. I mean, he just rolls like that. But anyway, all right, everybody, that's my review of Roofman. Now I want to hear from you. Have you watched it yet? Did the story surprise you? And what did you think of Channing Tatum in this more dramatic role? Drop your comments below. And cut. That's a wrap. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will never miss a review. And you know the vibes. I'll see you at showtime. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.